Welcome to Heart, Cat and Soul, a podcast designed to unravel the mysteries of the feline world on a physical, emotional, and energetic level. You are more than capable of connecting with your cat, but the hustle and bustle of life and the noise in our minds don't always let us truly listen. My name is Amaya Spindola, and I invite you to join me on this journey created for you to unlock the full potential of your relationship with your cat. Hello, dear listeners, and welcome. Welcome back. There's another episode today, and today we're going to explore the mystery of the anxiety, trying to unravel those deep feelings, those hidden layers. And I want to chat about a topic that affects most cats for different reasons. And it's kind of one of the causes of the so-called aggressive cats as well. And I really like working with with aggression, with the cats that are feared, anxious, and they show these aggressive behaviors. But it's not because I'm a masochist. The reason is because when you understand, support, and learn how to, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn how to be present, how your energy modulates their response. And this is kind of the thing, but at this point, what we are talking today, it's not going to be aggression. So it's going to be more subtle. We're not going to see it. Often it's invisible, and we don't understand it very well. Okay? But it is important that we start establishing this kind of relationship with our cats. It's not we normally what I see, especially in social media, what I see is that we frequently normalize certain behaviors or say that the cat does this all the time, and most of the time it's not like it. It's not just us who feel anxiety. Our cats are energetically sensitive creatures. And they pick up also on our emotions, but they can suffer or experience anxiety the same way. So now you might be asking, why are we talking about this, you and me, and all this energetic thing? Okay, yeah. We are going to this abstract world that's difficult sometimes. Many cats that, especially those that who stay indoors, are constantly in tune with our moods and behavior. Actually, the only energy that changes inside a house, if they have no access outdoors, it's ourselves. It's how we come in from the house with different smells, with different, maybe stress from work or anything else. Or maybe sometimes excitement. It's not everything bad. But still, it's our energy that changes. They observe, absorb, and even try to help us balance again, if we are in the stressful moments, especially. And we don't realize they are doing their jobs. They work with your energy to bring you back to the normal state. When our minds are racing or we are in this anxious state ourselves, they pick up on that. So over time, these energetic exchanges can shape the cat's behavior, sometimes leading to habits we might laugh about on social media, which I don't like because cats doing funny or quirky things. But sometimes it can manifest in ways that impact their health and well-being. And of course, we can't forget that they also carry their own abilities to adapt to the environment they're in. Okay, it's not all about us. It's the relationship, is the environment they live, but also the capacities or abilities they learn while they were developing. So if we see this as a whole picture, we're going to find that there are many perspectives to work on. And some are going to be easier for us to deal with, and some others more difficult. But the first thing for me, it would be to look into those behaviors we normalized about cats, such as waking up as very early in the morning, or playing around in times where everything is relaxed, running around, the zoomies, the catching your ankles while you're crossing a hallway or something like that. Or maybe they can even be purring excessively, grooming. There are a lot of ways to see what is going on. And most of the times when I deal with patients that they tell me the stories of how it all started, how the aggression started, because usually that's what I work with. I go back to a lot before that happened, that event, and I find out that there are certain behaviors that we found normal because, we saw it on Instagram and they were, funny for other cats. and this is the way. So if we may not recognize that there is something going on until we had that aggressive event. So to make it a little bit more practical for you, okay, and understand this, let's go to practical things. For instance, if you see a cat overly reactive or the opposite, withdrawn, we may not immediately recognize that they are managing the impact of the energy they are exposed to. That energy can come from us or something else from the outside. You might see those little things, right? Such an extra grooming, hiding, or very, let's say, very exaggerated responses to small things, such as small noises that happen suddenly. Changes in their eating habits. If they go around the food, they want, they are asking, they're demanding. All those things can be telling you something, right? And yes, sometimes those things are noticeable and frustrating for you, but some others are not. Or it is not always anxiety per se that can cause this. Sometimes there are chronic conditions going on. But it's important to start paying attention without an exaggerating concern. Simply observe and try to be aware of what's going on. And for me, it's really like a very good practice to start writing down those things. Maybe keep a journal or a calendar if you see, for example, in different months of the year, you see that in a season, you see a lot of hairball regurgitation, or maybe you see they are more nervous when the summer or the spring comes. Okay, sometimes this can be related to something in the environment, such as fleas, for example, or they've been nervous, or a new cat came in, or something changed in your life. But also there are some things in the seasons that actually change our energy as well. So maybe in the springtime you are more active, and suddenly from the winter you start going out more, and this kind of alters the environment the cat thought it had. So well, that's one of the things that just observe and see how frequent they happen, how often you see this happening. And this awareness will give you a lot of information. And I know many vets won't even care about it, but let me tell you, a holistic vet will actually ask you about this and will love you, just like I will, if you work with me. I would love you to have that written down so we can tell if that is actually something important, if there's an underlying anxiety going around. Okay. Other things we can do. So if we write down, if you have all the journals or whatever you like, you can write or organize yourself however you see fit. Then what are the things we can automatically do if we're faced with this? Okay, we notice that we want to do something about it. So, okay, how do I change things? And again, let's go practical. One of the things that we need to focus on is, okay, what can cause anxiety? And everything can cause anxiety. But how to deal with anxiety? We would say that food and water intake are kind of the best starters. So let's say you're feeding an ultra processed food, and maybe you're adding a little bit of wet food in the mix, and the cat drinks a safe amount of water and everything is fine. Okay. Yes. All right. That's okay. Start there. Start watching how they eat. Are they eating fast, anxiously, that you need to buy a certain a certain thing, feeding an automatic feeder to adapt the amount of food you have to give every day? That's a very big red light to look at. Okay, and the first thing you should do is not have a automatic feeder, because the cat is going to be anxious about it. He's going to wait, sitting there, and become more anxious. And when the lid's open, then he's going to eat everything very fast. So that's not a solution. The solution is trying to understand why he does that. And the first thing is to understand that ultra processed foods are going to cause addiction, and they're not going to be filling their stomachs very well, and they are not going to feel the nutrients. The brain is going to ask the bacteria is going to ask the brain to eat more, because that is not enough. It's something like when you eat sweets and you want more and more and more, and you never feel satiated. Well, that's kind of the thing. That's the addiction to more and more, and that's why we are addicted to sugar. So if we understand this, that's the basic of how to deal with anxiety. Choosing more natural foods in the way you feel more comfortable, that will be a very, very big step. If you see your cat eating fast, you need to find a way to solve that without causing more anxiety. And at the same time, if you give water, if you offer water in the food, not just adding water to the kibble, please. I'm saying food that already contains water, such as canned food or natural wet food. Natural or raw food. Okay. This water, it's gonna be more absorbed and more used by the body, and it's going to hydrate the brain. With, again, that's the machine that processes information, and we need to give that the good nutrients and the enough water to make it happen. So yes, food, it's essential. The second thing would be exercise. Exercise if the body feels well, if the cat feels capable of hunting or playing and doing this and that, then perfect. The brain is going to understand that, and it's going to have a really good impact on their health, on their anxiety and their health. So if you have a cat that doesn't play, then there's something else you need to look at. One tip that I can give you right now is that some cats won't play if there are other cats around, but they will play if you play with them alone, separately. Try that before you tell me, oh, my cat doesn't play. Because if that is happening, then we need to look at it. It's not something a cat shouldn't. well, sorry, the cat should always be willing to play. That's kind of their self-esteem. Okay. And then if we also uh, give a really home enrichment, a good home enrichment, and we add scratching posts and different levels, and we make the play more exciting, that will allow us to, the cat can choose where to feel more safe. Some cats will feel safer if they go up and they watch everything from the top, and some other cats will hide. So you need to offer those things all the time and see how is your cat playing? What does they need? I love for cats cardboard, because you can do that. You can offer them different homemade stuff until you find out what you actually need, and then spend a good amount of money on a good scratching post that you make sure is stable and nice to keep it in your house for a, a considerable amount of time. For example, my scratching post was not cheap, but I had it from, I think it's going to turn 8 years now. So imagine, this is the thing, I'm not buying one every year. I bought a really good one. And this is the thing, I don't have too many things, because I realized what my cats needed. And sometimes I thought that they were needing something, and then I had to give it back because that was not the case. So if you try with cardboard, and you can enrich the home and try, oh, this is the hallway, what should I do here? What should I just play around and see what's the feeling you get. And from that perspective, you go and buy the things you need. Okay? Instead of buying all the beautiful things you might find for cats. Another, just a tip there is, make sure you buy things that are not full of plastic. That's not good for them. I'll go in this in depth with another episode, but just make sure to buy good quality stuff. And then there's another thing. It's support our cats and talk to them. For me, our voice is very important. What if we anticipate, for example, if you are walking through the hallway and the cat didn't see you, if you talk, if you say, hey, here I am, or then the cat, well, it's unlikely that they will jump into your ankle, right? And they are not going to go and grab your feet or anything else, because you didn't startle them. They are, you just anticipated your presence. So it's important to keep this as a normal routine, to talk to them, to bend your knees a bit, just to be at their level. Be present at that moment when you're petting your cat. Is just your cat, there's nothing else. And all these small tips can help a lot. And within time, you will get that anxiety improved, and the cat will become more adaptable to its environment. So, a little bit of my experience. It's funny how, as I become more conscious of my own voice and energy, because all of this, I'm telling you, is not. It's mostly from my personal experience. I see. Well, I noticed changes in my cat. I have a so-called aggressive cat. I don't like to say he's no longer an aggressive cat, but he was called like that. And there was a time when I'd come home from rehearsals, because yes, besides I'm not only a vet, I'm also a singer. So when I was at rehearsals, and I was full of excitement, and I came home, or even I had a concert, I was, really happy. Sometimes I love singing, and and I came home, and so suddenly I was bursting like inside a house, and my cat will simply, run away from me. It's like, don't come near me, and if you come, I'll react. He was alert. because I'm not only entering my home and his temple, that I'm also altering. And it doesn't matter if it's a positive or negative. It's too much. So, um, first it took me a while to understand it because I was like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And I was crazy about it. And then I realized that, my energy was high. And so I decided to take a breath, ground myself, ignore him until I was calm. So usually when this happens, I still, come with a lot of excitement. I sit down on the couch or maybe I lay down on the floor and breathe and just allow him to, to make a recognition round for me, recognize what I've done. And then when I'm calm, then he will say, okay, you're all right. Let's go. So if you see this as from another, let's say outside your own ego, you will see that cats act as mirrors. They reflect what's going on in our inner worlds. And they will react to our energy. Sometimes we are not going to be that aware of our energy of, I'm coming with a lot of excitement, or I'm sad, or I'm angry, or, so it's a good work to start naming your own feelings to understand what they are going to experience when they see you. And they can be a really good teachers, and they can teach us to see that, if we're willing to accept it, of course. As I say, they are like tiny, wise barometers, sensitive to those shifts in our emotional weather. If we're grounded, they feel it. If we're scattered, they absorb that and feel it as well and run away from you. And the thing is, it's not just about calming down. It's about awareness and paying attention to that, the impact, the reaction the reaction they have on our presence, or what's going on around us. So let's remember that our journey with cats and really with ourselves isn't about perfection. It's not that, I'm going to notice everything and no. It's about noticing bit by bit where we are, recognizing what we might change, and maybe even using our voice as a tool. As I said before, the way you talk is also a way to ground yourself. And I'm going to talk about voice and how you can use it to help your cat. That's one of the things coming next year. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast and get in my social media, because this is going to be a big part. This can help a lot with anxiety. So because it's fascinating how as a singer, I come to see that my voice is not just a technical skill, but it's also an energetic instrument. And not only when I came home after rehearsals and concerts, I also, when I practice at home, when I'm singing at home, I now can tell what my emotional state is. And most of the time, and even if my emotional state, it's affecting my singing, because I have my cat to tell me about it. Earlier on, when I'd sing with all the intensity of my emotions, and also the songs that I chose to sing were like very intense 80s ballads, really love songs and strong voices, he'd respond with alarm. He would like, what are you doing? And even show a little bit of aggressive behaviors towards me, because I was being very intense. And I didn't understand. I was not aware of it. But when I became aware, and also due to other things in life, I learned how to sing better and I keep learning more and more about singing because it's one of my passions. And I became more aware of how I sing. Now I realize he stays, he listens, and he sometimes curls up and sits around me completely at ease. So imagine how important a cat that is reactive to the environment, a very subtle noise or anything, he will jump. That process for me, it was amazing. I've learned so much from him. So that's why I love working with reactive or aggressive cats, because they can show you how deep you can go in your awareness, in your presence, and in your habits daily. What I would like you to do from this episode today is I'd love for all of you to take this as an invitation. Let's check in with ourselves and observe how we are showing up in our homes, especially for those sensitive little beings we share our lives with. Anxiety isn't something we need to manage alone. Let's bring in more awareness, grounding, and gentle compassion for ourselves. That's how it starts as well. It's a beautiful journey we're on, and we're on with our cats. And it's truly remarkable what we can learn from these wise, gentle souls. For me, it's an unforgettable experience, and the reason why I'll probably live with more and more cats in the future. So I hope you enjoyed today. I would love to hear your comments about what do you do to address the anxiety of your cats. How do you feel about it? Is it frustrating? I mean, this is a safe space. I'm sharing all the information I've learned of dealing with cats for over 15 years. And I really would like, if you're struggling, if you need more help, first of all, I do have a free guide that you can find on my website. It's velvet.co.uk. Just leave me your email, drop the email, and you will receive a free guide to learn those key points that will build that relationship with your cat. But also, if you have a healthy cat and you want to touch on these ideas on how to do it better at home, I would recommend that you take those the time consultations that you can take 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And if you want to go deep and see the full picture, you can always go to the 360 consultation. There we're going to look at nutrition, at behavior, at energetic styles, energetic health things, and also the physical parts, if there's any pain or anything else that could be causing the anxiety. So I hope you enjoyed the episode today, and let me know. It's important, isn't it? Have a great week or days or life. See you next time. Thank you.